With a wartime cost of $2 billion and employing 125,000 people, the Manhattan Project was massive. That's according to Alex Wollerston, professor and the director of Science Technology Studies at the Stevens Institute of Technology in the Encyclopedia of History and of Science in 2019. Everyone in this room has learned about nuclear weapons in school. The Manhattan Project was the U.S. atomic program during World War II. First, I'll talk about the main purposes of the project. Then, I'll talk about the many locations that aided the project. After that, I will discuss the main successes of the project. And finally, I'll talk about the lasting results of the Manhattan Project. There was many goals of the Manhattan Project, but two main purposes. The first purpose was to develop nuclear weapons to end World War II. There's two main styles of bombs that were created during the Manhattan Project. The first style was the projectile style that used enriched uranium fired with high explosives down a gun barrel towards another piece of enriched uranium. This would create a mass that was supercritical and would then explode, causing a nuclear reaction and the discharge of a major amount of energy. This style, according to Avant Sood, who served as the Los Alamos National Laboratory's nuclear weapons program for over 20 years and is currently a senior scientist. In the journal Nuclear Technology in 2021, the supercritical mass for enriched uranium is 56 kilograms. This means that the projectile type bomb would use about 56 kilograms of material in order to create the explosion. The second style of bomb was an implosion style. This style used plutonium, which is uranium that has received a neutron and emits a proton. This style would have a sphere of plutonium that was compressed using high explosives to a supercritical level, and that would then explode, causing a nuclear reaction and the bomb to go off. The second main purpose of the Manhattan Project was to develop nuclear to energy and to further our knowledge of the atom. According to Mark Chadwick, the chief scientist and chief operating officers of weapon physics at the Los Alamos National Laboratories in the journal Nuclear Technology in 2021, Los Alamos had the third reactor to go critical and was the first to use enriched uranium for fuel. This technology would be developed over the next couple of years and through the Manhattan Project. All of these goals would take many people in order to achieve them. There was many different locations across the nation that aided. The first was the Los Alamos Research Facility in New Mexico. This was where the main management and main research took place during the project. There was also over 24 different universities across the nation and Great Britain that aided with the research and development of the project. There's also many different mining and industrial locations across the nation and into Canada that supplied the necessary material for the project. The enriched uranium was created at the Oak Ridge facility in Tennessee. The plutonium needed was created at the Hanford location in Washington State. And according to Mark Chadwick, the chief scientist and according to Stephen Andrews, the research and development scientist at Los Alamos National Laboratories, in the journal Nuclear Technology 2021, the heavy wire necessary for the reactions was produced in Canada. In order to all the hard work of all these people, the Manhattan Project was a success. We dropped 2 nuclear weapons, one of each style, on Japan to end World War II, and nuclear technology became the next big thing in energy for decades after the war. With these successes, there has been long-lasting results. The nuclear weapons changed how wars have been fought. There has been less major conflicts between world superpowers than before. And according to Alan Carr, the program manager and senior historian at Los Alamos National Laboratories, in the journal Nuclear Technologies in 2021, the Manhattan Project paved the way for future major projects in the world. There had never been a project this large that combined military and civil like this project had. They blazed the way and set precedents for future projects that combine these aspects of our country. There is also major developments in nuclear power that are still in use today. We still use nuclear reactors for energy, and this could be a good resource for green energy. First, I talked about the main purposes of the Manhattan Project. Next, I talked about the different locations across the nation that helped with it. After that, I discussed the successes of the project, and finally, I talked about the lasting results. The Manhattan Project was the World War II U.S. program to research nuclear energy. Though with a wartime cost of $2 billion and employing 125,000 people, the Manhattan Project was massive, and hopefully you have a better idea of the history and lasting results of it.